Man, is Monsters Nearby really 5 minutes long? Damn. What was I thinking back then? Welcome, Salvador. Welcome, Mars. Welcome, whoever else is showing up. Lurkers and whatnot. I got a hell of a stream today. We're doing ice levels, as the title card says. We got more Zelda. Oh. Give me that incog. Neato. Pulling all these up in advance. So, this is one of those streams where you're not just going to want to be here for the content. You're going to want to be here for the breaks. Because there's some cool stuff I got to show you. Hang on, let me put the... There we go. I gotta put the sidechain back on so the music doesn't drown me out. But yeah. God had been bad to me. Synchronic similes, well made awaken daily. Voices I couldn't see, couldn't read, I'd only fade. These days I take my luck. God, I'm so glad my voice is back. It was like gone all of last week. And was gone for I was recording something. I was doing some patch vocals for something while my voice was already shot. I was like, oh God, can't believe I'm doing this, but I gotta. It's Bandcamp Friday, it's gotta be done. And then I had a band practice, and that went well. That went super well. Just sort of feeling things out, picking some tracks to vibe on. It was a good time. This week is also going to be busy. I'm going to be going back to work on another project that I will announce very soon, right after stream. I'm going to be introducing Thursdays as a stream day this month, and that's going to come with this other announcement. If you know, you know. Looking forward to it. And there's something that already came out today, and something that came out over the weekend, and I'm going to play those over the breaks. Everything has been very exciting times. Life is nuts right now. Love it. I'm going to go get my, you know what? How well does this pick up? If I just, like, keep walking. If I just, like, leave the studio. I'm just walking down the hallway right now. Grab my coffee. You can all still hear me. Crazy. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Well, I can just keep talking to you guys. I should just keep my mic on when people come in and I have to deal with shit, and just be like, whoa, hey. You're live now. You're bug mic'd. How's the weather? It's still raining. All right. Now, if only I could take a camera with me too, but that's difficult to do. Current OBS setup. All right. This song isn't an equal temperament. All right, let's go. All right, there I am. Cool, awesome, great. Okay, we're live once again. That's not a key. Damn it! Cool. Ice. All right. So, the current thread is ice levels. Last time we did desert levels and sand levels, and there was a bit more variety than I was expecting. I was expecting everything to be, you know, like that kind of thing, but no. There was flamenco music. There was like Afro-Cuban, like mariachi kind of adjacent music. There was some cool stuff. There was Pokemon music that just sort of sounded like Pokemon music. C, F sharp. Okay, cool. All right. So this time, there is some Zelda, there is some Pokemon, there is Okami, there is Drawn to Life, which I've heard of. I've heard stuff about. There's one from Kirby, and one from Crash. All right. So this is a good selection. Very stereotypical selection, but good nonetheless. I'm going to fix this camera so the edge of the actual keyboard isn't poking up awkwardly. Right. Oh, now there's like 1 pixel of it. Can I, there we go. Now it's gone. Okay, cool. I should change that wallpaper to be something static, because it's something different every time. And I always wonder if people are going to come in and be like, why the fuck is there a boat? Why is there just a picture of a boat in the corner? What's that about? I'll change it to the trees or something. A bit more obvious background. Okay. I think let's start with Zelda. Zelda's always got some interesting stuff. So, is this working yet? No. Queen Snarf suggested the Snow Peak Ruins from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I think, did we do a Twilight Princess one last time? I can't remember. Or was it Skyward Sword? I can't remember all these Zelds. There's too many. I didn't play Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword. I have a gap in my Zelda knowledge from Wind Waker to Breath of the Wild. So, this will be my first time hearing this. Let's get cold in here. I'm gonna listen through once through for vibes, then again for analysis. Let's go. Okay, so we got some creepy arpeggios on like a choir patch. And then this little glockenspiel or something changing with the chords. Okay, yeah. Creepy intervals on that wind instrument. Okay, so now we got a pizzicato bass, or just like a bass sample or something. Yeah. Just kind of reinforcing the chords there. I see. This is very sparse. There has been no percussion or anything entering yet. We're like a minute and a half in. Okay. So this is what the build has been to. The top glockenspiels are sort of falling. It's very like glint of an icicle kind of thing. And the arpeggios on that choir patch are like rising in weird chords. Now we have a melody. And it's very jaunty. It's not as like weird and foreboding as the chords of the rest of it. It's moving with it though. Is that like an oboe or a bassoon? Now they're harmonizing. Yeah. So this is definitely creating like you know, like the choir samples are almost, they're very short and staccato, but they do sort of have this, they're evocative of like short bursts of like wind, you know? That glockenspiel was very evocative of like icicles. Usually, what's interesting is this is using a lot of like warmer, like wind and reed tones. Usually for icy stuff, everything ends up usually being more like shrill, you know? Like upper, there's something about like cold and sharp and like upper frequencies that just sort of all mesh in people's brains like musically. But this is more, it's very warm. The harmonies here are strange. They might be proper, but just amidst the arpeggio in the background, they sound odd. I'm like being hypnotized. Okay, and then it fades, I believe. This is where it is looped. I think we've looped. So, Mar says the context for the song is that you're helping a Yeti gather soup ingredients for his wife while exploring an icy mansion. Okay, so it's like a mansion. That's interesting. That's another layer. So it does have some of that like spooky, abandoned kind of, I can hear that coming through. It definitely is more spooky than icy. There are far more elements that speak to the spookiness of the situation rather than the iciness, right? Yeah, you're going through the normal part of their mansion still intact and warm, and then the abandoned half outside broken parts. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, this definitely, that would make sense to me, like compositionally. Let's figure out, these chords are really weird. What are they doing? Hang on, let me get that open. Okay. Let me also put headphones on. That's plugged in, right? If I do this. Yeah, I can hear. Okay. Okay, what is that intro doing? I hear that. Okay, it sounds like that. But I feel like I'm missing an interval because it sounds a little more cramped and dissonant than that. There's something else there, I think. It might have this, it might have something like that, like right underneath it. But it's, yeah, it's, sounds like we're in D, which would actually probably mean we're in C minor. I think that's where we're at. That's my prediction. Welcome, Cosmo Comic. Is there a tritone there? I can't. I honestly can't tell. Oh, I think there is. Or at least below it. Yeah, that makes more sense. D flat major 13? Sure. That's what that is. All right, I've spent too long in the intro. Let's go. What are the rest of the notes? It's something like that. It might be more dissonant. What is that doing? It's that. It's an F major 7 with the. So yeah, so this arpeggio is an F major 7, but with the 7 actually added to the bass. So that's what we're starting with. So that has some creepy, like, it's got this E and F in here twice, which is a very, like, rubby interval, but fortunately it's doing it in an arpeggio, so we don't actually hear all of those together. So yeah, what does it go to? Oh, I could be wrong. I think the top note is actually sharper than that. So it would be an F major 7 flat 13. That's what I think I'm hearing. Wow. And back that up. Ah, okay, I see. It does the same run up 2 octaves. That's what it's doing. An A flat 13, it's saying it is now. That's an F augmented. But essentially what this is doing like, it's arpeggiating the same chord. Like that, just up 2 octaves. Okay, yeah, that's way creepier than what I heard the first time. Then the second one, and I think it just does the same thing, but stepped down. D. Okay. Yeah, then I think what it does when it moves to that second chord is it's actually just modulating the same pattern down. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Then it goes back to... Okay, so that's our main 2 chords, you could say. This A flat 13, I guess, I sort of think it's an F augmented 7. Yeah. But it's this chord. Just kind of tense and ugly. And then it does the same thing lower. So it's just modulating this. And I think it just does these arpeggios for most of the time. Okay, and what are those little bass notes? They're just fourths. And it is doing fourths on an A. So that would, well, it is doing fourths, you know, with A being the 5th. I've explained this before, but like if you have a perfect 5th, like the presence of a note being above in a 5th, like no matter what else is going on around the chord, like no matter what other notes are around it, like the presence of a 5th over a root, wait, hang on. Yeah, the presence of a 5th over the root will usually indicate that this is the key, this is the root. Now, 5ths have an opposite, which is the 4th, which is just, if you take whatever note is like a 5th below something, like will be the 4th, if you take it an octave down, right? So if something is going, even though that first note is an E, the fact that it reaches up to an A and a 4th implies that this is actually the 5th of that, right? So we are an A. This is this thing, this weird chord that happens at the beginning here. That is definitely actually an A. They are going for A flat 13. So that's what that tells me. And I'm gonna guess when those bass move down, it's just gonna move down to. Oh, it's not. It's a tritone. I'm wrong. This is a tritone. So when the bass is accenting it, it's hitting a tritone, moving up to A, right? Now, the interesting thing about the tritone is that they are ambiguous as to which root they are placed in. However, the fact that this is saying that this... The fact that that is saying the E, F. Okay. The fact that the chord readout is saying that that's an A. Let me play it again so it's on the screen. Now there's a B flat in here somewhere. Okay. The fact that the chord readout is saying that that's an A, and the fact that this tritone also like does a little reinforcement of that A, leads me to believe that this is an A. And also, is that... Okay, that's actually not in that chord below it. So that extra tritone that the bass is throwing in is making it a little more spooky. Yeah. All right, so what is the glockenspiel melody doing in relevance to the chords? So, is it that? Okay, so we do another tritone jump here, up to E. Then we step down to E flat, and then step down a half note lower than the note we started with, which is that A. So we land... Why are you doing... Okay, so we land back on that A that is supposedly the root of this whole thing. And the bass is actually sort of answering that when it comes in, right? Because it also hits like a, you know, it's sort of like another tritone motion that like acknowledges what the other melody started with, you know? That's just gonna move down, right? I think so, yeah. And then it repeats. And then we get this, I think it's a flute melody. Does this little, what is that, 6-5-1? To land on the A, drone the A for a little bit. So this, even though there is that like weird, like thing that's just a mesh of notes, the song is very determined to put its key center in A and keep reinforcing that A. Okay. So there's a lot of tritone motion going on here. That one's just a major third, but then it does this little tritone here between F and B. Okay, does this actually... This, yeah, so this starts on essentially this, but a step down. So the melody moves, at least the beginning of it, with the modulation of everything else, right? But the thing about the end of that melody is it actually does a tritone higher up than where we were before. Before we were a step lower. Now we've moved a step up when we do that tritone at the end. So that's a little bit of an interesting thing, how that's that melody will start with... What was it? It'll start with this kind of thing and then move it down. But whereas the first one ends on, the second one ends on. And so the beginning will move down, but the end moves up. And they both do the same arrangement of intervals to begin and end, just modulated in a different way. What this sort of has the vibe to me, what this sort of like imposes, like as a... The effect that this has compositionally by just taking a weird, I would call this a cautious sounding chord, and just transposing it wholesale and not... And just transposing the pattern wholesale so that you essentially get the same chord both times, but in different adjacent key centers. What that effect has on me, the way I see that, is it's like you're cautiously like lurking through something and you're looking both ways, you know? Like you look one way and you have this... Like you hear something coming from somewhere, then you look the other way and you hear like... You know, and you hear the other side. That's sort of like the impression that I get from this. It's a very like cautious, like watch back and forth kind of thing. I did a similar thing with key changes in a song that I just put out on Friday, where the whole theme of it, right, the whole imagery is trying to be like two like colliding like stars that are like on a course for each other. And key-wise, what I did is I constantly switched between E and A over the course of the song. And then eventually, at the end, there's a part that was in E that then gets played in A, and it's like the big payoff because it actually like resolves and shit. And there's ways that you can kind of... You know, there's a whole lot of imagery in just moving around in a certain key center. Like we've talked about the effect that like 1 and 6 and stuff like that has, where you keep to the same key center, but you move around within it, and so everything is sort of just context that's downstream of the root or the 1/5 or whatever. But another effective way, if you can accomplish it compositionally, another effective thing you can do is by changing the key center strategically and often enough to kind of bring in another less stable version of that kind of tension and resolution motion, right? All right, now we get this. What is that? That just sounds like a major chord, like a major on B. What is that? Okay. So these are all like very consonant. What is it? Hang on. I think that's that. Yeah. That says, that's basically like a spread out E major. So, are the, I just want to make sure. Ah, they're all sixths. Yeah. So when the, like, glockenspiel kind of thing harmonizes, it's playing sixths, basically, from like a B major to an A major to an E major. And the arpeggio underneath it has also changed. Get to that change. Okay, I think we're doing that same sort of... And then it walks up again another step, I think. Is that just walking up chromatically? I think it's doing something like that. And I think when it goes back down, I think it's actually going up another root each time. I think it's doing that. So it's mostly taking the same, like, kind of pattern and moving it up more and more. And so far we have reached up, like, basically a sixth beyond. It just keeps climbing. And then we end up back in the, like, main, like, A arpeggio. Interesting. So we are basically just happily reinforcing like an A major kind of vibe here. Yeah. And then it's going to move that down. Yes. Wow. Yeah, and then I think there's an upper harmony that comes in there. Yeah, so we have that, basically just major notes. And that's just... That's just a very simple harmony. We start the lower one on E, so we can 5-1 into the, you know, the root there. Walk up to the major interval and then hit the root again, right? And so the other one is just start on A, go to the third, walk up to the fifth, and then land back on the third. So you just get this very happy little melody. And then I think that also just moves down. Yeah. Yeah. And that's most of what's going on here. So that's cool. The arpeggio in the background, this reminds me kind of like the arrangement of Lavender Town, because there was this creepy arpeggio in the background the whole time, and all of the melodies and chords and bass and stuff happened over top of it, and it would totally change the context of everything happening over it. All of the melodies in this are actually, well, the wind melodies in this are actually really like consonant. And the bells can be too, the glockenspiels, especially when they're doing like the sixths, like the... like that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's just like a consonant, mellow harmony and melody that's going on. But when things try to lean into, you know, merging or being against that arpeggio in the background, this very constant. When everything's trying to be up against that motion, it makes everything creepier in comparison. It all feels out of context. It all feels out of whack, you know? Ugh. Drink 2 drinks. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, that's basically this whole thing. It goes back and forth. It has a few... Are there any extra parts I missed? Oh, there's this. Is it a tritone? No, that's just a major chord, isn't it? So we're just doing some more thirds. Then we get to a 6th here. Yeah, and we mostly just start doing more consonant intervals in sixths. Yeah. So the harmonies are sticking to thirds and sixths. The sixths are just inversions of the third, right? They're the same interval. They are the mediant and submediant is what they call their scale function as chords. But essentially this, or let's use that. This and this are essentially the same if you point to, like, the upper one in the sixth as the root, right? Because what you're essentially doing is playing the top note of a full, like, triad that would be lower, right? You're taking the third from that, and then you're playing the octave above it. So that's sort of what a sixth is. So, you know, we must learn the shape, right? You're gonna internalize this if you keep watching these streams. Fifths and fourths are the same. They're just the opposites of each other. Thirds and sixths are also the same. They're just the opposite of each other. They fit together like that. Fourths and fifths fit together like that. And a not so obvious but still relevant, not really used as much musically, is that seconds and sevenths like these intervals are also related. It's better if you just seconds and sevenths. Those are the diametric opposers of the octave setup. They complete each other. They fill out each other's patterns. And with the odds, right? So like 1 is 1. 3 will always point to the 1 below it. 5 will always point to the 1 below it as the root. And 7 will usually point to the 1 below it as the root, unless you're going like that. But same thing, the like 4th is always going to point to the 1 below it as the root. And the 6th is always going to point to the 1 below it as the root. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. The 4th is always going to point to the 1 above it as the root, the 4th itself. And the 6th is always going to point to the top 6th as the root, right? And the same thing with the 2nd. It sort of wants to imply that it's a 7th, right? And it's sort of going to want to take the root away from its root position because it's just higher. And we want to hear it as an odd, right? So even intervals in a lot of contexts are usually used to replicate the odd intervals, right? Just from like a different angle, to invert them, you know? But yeah. Okay, theory lesson over. I never rated this song. I think that this is really good imagery composition in general. I think that this song definitely painted, like there were some things I was picking up on in the composition that I was like, this isn't really icy. And then when you guys explained it's like a mansion within like an icy place, that sort of fills out, that totally was kind of the image that I was getting. It was very spooky more than it was icy. And it was very warm and spooky more than it was icy. But still, as our first ice level, it's a pretty solid start. It's very sparse. Although it is simple in arrangement, it has a lot going on harmonically, and that interests me. I'm going to give it a 4. I always start out with the 4s. I probably have more 4s than any other thing than any other rating, but this is a 4. I like it. It impresses me. It's great. It's very good for what it's trying to do, and I appreciate it. So thank you, Queen Snarf, for suggesting the Snow Peak Ruins from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. All right, that's 1 down. 1 new message. Digimon. Yeah, let's pull up the Digimon one, too.
You take...
No, I don't take anything. All right. So let's see. We had a Zelda one. There's a Kirby one. Digimon. Drawn to Life. I think let's do Okami next. I tend to like Okami. The one Okami song I listened to almost made me cry. So, let's hear how this one stacks up. Okami music is so good. Hang on, I'm getting through an ad here. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to take a very short break after I get through this analysis, and I'm going to play a new thing. You know what? No, this is probably going to be the long break, because if I get through this, it's probably going to be around 3:30. So we'll take the long break, right? And I'm going to show you something. It's like 10 minutes, right? But it's a thing I was in. and that'll be fun. Stick around, stay tuned. Witness my return from VO hiding. All right. All right. All right. So Spoonie suggested Wepkier from Okami. This is another one in our ice level theme. I have liked everything from Okami I've heard so far. I have high hopes. I have high expectations. But let's check this out. Let's see. I'm going to listen once through for vibes and then again for analysis. Let's do it. Turn this down a tad. Okay, so we have like a koto or something doing that pluckiness. We have some drones on the strings. Some wind instruments up top doing like some fluttery melodies. A lot of trills. Ooh. Ah, I wasn't expecting that. Little sus4 motion too. Yeah. It sounds very dire. Those pedal tones through the string drones are, like, great. Yeah. Okay. I think that's another sus4 motion in the strings. The strings are taking a very like cinematic backing padding approach. Now we got some building percussion. Okay, it's amping up. Everything, it's very regal. There's some like cowboy chord acoustic guitar in the background too. So it's sort of just building on what it did the first time, just with more percussiveness and more layers. Now everything dies out a little bit. I really like that chord change. I love all the percussion layers too. It's great. sus4 to 3. No. Okay, yeah. So this is gonna loop and fade, right? Yeah, this is great. Again, it's not super snowy. There's a little bit that you could kind of like make out to be like wintry, but it sounds like a very regal and very important situation more than anything, right? Let's hear what's happening here. It doesn't sound like it moves around keys a whole lot, but it sounds like it's got some cool chord things going on. Okay, the first note we pluck is E. What is that chord under it? I think we're in E minor. So I'm hearing like a kind of thing where it's shifting between putting a fifth and a fourth in between this octave, which as you can see the chord readout is very confused by. But that's because it thinks there's a G here. Okay. Yeah, so we have an E5 and then a A5 sort of rocking back and forth just by the virtue of those strings moving the interval between those octaves, it sounds like. It sounds like it actually adds them together. It does like a sus4 thing. Then we hit an E minor. So it sounds like what we do is we start we kind of walk down intervals of that E to get back to the full E. And then we go to D, I think. So we drone on E for a bit. And then we go to D. Right at the tail, right? And then, okay. Then we go down to its 6. And then I wanted it to go up to its 7. I was expecting that, right? Because we were going down to 7 before. But instead we go. What does that go to? Instead we go to B, which I guess also makes sense. Unless it's not. Yeah, I think we're actually just going to F sharp. But we do, when we jump there, we jump there with this fourth in the middle, right? So that would sort of imply that we've actually moved from 6 to 5, or because this F sharp is the fifth of this B minor, right? But we get a little bit of that and then we move, we do like a sus4 thing into the third of the F. Yeah, that actually is like a sus4 motion. That's really clever. That's sus. Authentic sus. And then we're back in E. And then we move up to a 3, which is G. Yeah, so now we're sort of moving up 1 to 3 to 4 to 5. I can't tell if that's major or minor when it does it. That's major. And back on E. We pedal on this E for most of this. Then go down to D. That's so clever. Man! It makes you think you're going to 5, but you're not. With a sus motion that pulls it from the 4 into 3. Yeah, that's, oh man, that's, man, I like that. I really like that it does that jump. Then it's going to move to D. That's so cool. Yeah, it feels very big and epic, right? The fact that it drones, I think it does maybe move to A at one point. That's such a cool little chord motion. Okay, so what is the melody doing here ultimately? Ah, starting on a 7, interesting. Or not, no we're not. We're getting a little bit of this like E7 kind of thing going on here on those plucky, those koto lines. And we do start on E. Okay, so we have climbs up a fifth. Yeah, we had this. There's a little repeating. That's a little like motif that seems to keep coming up. The melody is mostly just following like very consonant intervals of the chords that are under it, right? And it makes sure to hit that, like, you know, with the B as we hit it. Or not the B, but rather the F sharp, you know? Why is it B7? Why? What the? Are you kidding me? E flat? Okay, there we go. Sometimes it'll just say a thing and it won't be the notes. yeah, so that's this whole chord motion that they introduced in the beginning, that melody is essentially following it and accentuating it, right? Wow. Like, this is, it's very cinematic. The chord motion is mostly simple, but it does have that really clever thing where it goes up to an F sharp and plays like a sus4, which makes you think that it is moved from 6 to 5, or wow, 6 to 5. But it like gives you a taste of that 5 chord and then reroutes itself back to F sharp, so you know that we have actually jumped to F sharp. And I just think that's a cool, like, I love that. This does not have to evoke snow for me to like appreciate this. I love those drum lines too. It's great. I think if I'm gonna give this a rating, comparing this to the last one, and also just comparing it to like other things that have stuck out to me before and like really impressed me, and compared to the last Okami song, I think this is a 5 out of 5. This is a masterfully crafted piece of music for like the aesthetic of the game, the like regal divinity kind of vibe that they're trying to get across. Everything feels very big and important, right? Man, I started the stream saying I got my voice back, and it's already getting, like, hoarse. I can already feel myself, like, ready to cough. But, yeah. This is a 5 out of 5 for me. I really like this. I really like the little motion it does. And I like that one cool chord skip. I like the, you know, the melody isn't super, like, outstanding or complex. The harmony isn't super outstanding or complex, but what it is doing, which I really like, it's using a lot of those sus4s and sus2s. Sometimes using them both statically, but also using them dynamically, like when it does that, right? And that's really cool to me. The fact that they can use that sus to its fullest extent. This sounds great. Thank you, Spoonie, for suggesting Wepkir from Okami. All right, it's about 3:30. I'm gonna take a break, and I have something for you guys. So this is a project that I was asked to be a part of. I posted it in the Discord earlier today, but I'm gonna make you all watch it in case you haven't seen it yet. This is a 10-minute animated short, and I'm gonna leave it on for you guys while I go take a break. This is DKC Return to Crocodile Isle. Wait, can I do this? No, wait, screen full. How do I get rid of my camera? There we go. There we go. All right. I'm hiding you guys too. You guys got to see the full screen, the full effect, right? I'm in this. The original. Does anybody remember the really that like old Donkey Kong Country 3D animated cartoon? Does anybody remember that? Some friends of mine asked me to be part of a thing where they got some of the original voice actors to come back and do a thing, and it's like a Disney villain song. Have at it. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Oh, spare me an ale, and I'll tell you the story of the mad pirate king who was destined for glory. Through fire and fury, the king sadly failed. It seems his ambitions weren't quite up to scale.
I'd like to propose a toast to this very momentous occasion, as we're all gathered here today in memoriam of our once great leader.
I thought it was your birthday.
It was.
But, Glump, why are we celebrating a decade-long abscess?
I said in memoriam of, not in celebration of, and that's absence, you boneheaded half-wit.
So, what do you suppose ever happened to him?
Roaches. They be hard to kill. He probably tucked his feelers under whatever rock was big enough to seclude Sobek.
Well, it's all a bit of hearsay, but I hear he took one too many conduced calls to the old scaly noggin.
Oh, you want to know what I heard? I heard he got picked to the bone by a bunch of bloody sharks.
Bro said electric barbecue. Hashtag slow cooked.
I heard that a higher power determined that he, and by proxy us, were unfit to continue coexisting with our Kong rivals, forcibly removing all contact with them, and thus leading to a life of hiding.
Told you need to reel it back.
And it wasn't a neat
So he's finally back. Earth foreman for you. If you know your place, you can join him too. Put your claws together for a villain most cruel. 'Cause this time
he's here to rule.
If absence sows a hungry heart, are you famished without your king? It seems you lot forgot the brand of cruelty that I bring. I'll remind you, faithful subjects, I know it's been a while, lest you fancy your death by my jaws or my breath. Don't smile at this crocodile. In individuals, insanity is rare. But in crews, cutthroats, countries, and cremaspheres, it is the rule. There once was a glending dynasty. The land was lush and we ruled the sea. We lived our lives so peacefully as a harmonious crew.
A quiet place.
No monkey business. His conquest and vengeance cost this.
Our dental was better too.
No, I can barely chew.
Yes, well, our paradise didn't last too long, 'cause our block was rocked and our kingdom wrong. They shaped by the name of Kong, the seal of family feud. From this loss and devastation, I will bring us to salvation. Worship me like once before, and all shall be restored. If we tip the scale, I'll send them all to jungle jail. Must tip the scale, let's make that cretin ride and flail. We'll tip the scale, reclaim our land, our holy grail. We shall not fail, we'll end this monkey's tale. We'll tip the scale, let's tip the scale.
10 years. cellar dweller was in the basement for 10 years?
Well, that does explain all the missing food.
While it's true I won't deny it that they've hidden round my bell, my many hats and all this lunacy, I know I've made this hell. These failures running through my mind like monkeys jumping in my head. My finest hour cast aside and rendered positively dead. And still I fought it like a hero, spite the tragedy and travesty. And now I have returned with light and glory as your majesty. And your disgraceful prattle while I was off secluded was a mutiny. Ha! I'd have you executed! Now I know what you're all thinking, and I know you must be down, but I'm here to save the day and here to turn the ship around. We're going to pick up the slackety, make a crackety-rackety, gonna turn these monkeys into poet two banana jackeries! Don't beg, just kneel, and your loyalty is sealed. Pledge for the fight, we'll show our Kremling might. With me, your sail and keel. Now tip the scale, we'll fly, the wind is in our sails. Fight tooth and nail, invoke the strife that it entails. He'll try and fail, that Kong has run his final trail. We shall not fail, with rule we shall prevail. We'll tip the scale, we'll tip the scale. I knew you'd be back, fate entangled, destined forever, yin and yang. I did this all for you. Want another funny part? I don't even like bananas. Am I enough for you now? Am I?
We are Kremlings, hear our cry. Hoist the crossbones to the sky. We are Kremlings and proudly we stand on the coastlines of our land.
I am Kremling, I am king. We'll reclaim what's to be had. Tear Kong asunder as we cry blood and thunder. My command is ironclad. Bear thee witness to our redemption and the fall of apish fools. We shall take back what is rightfully ours. And that's it for rule.
It's not over yet. God. Look, there's me. Look, there's my name at the end. Wild.
Donkey, you faced some fierce foes in the past, but always managed to come out on top. Any big, scaly villains you feel deserve a special shout-out?
Bowser?
Are you sure? Isn't there a portly, clawed fellow who's got it out for you?
Kraid? Not a chance.
It's,
Okay.
great to have you back, Your Highness. The Kremlin crew's been in a bit of disarray without you.
It came again.
How many times have we been over this? There's no Mr. Keith Crud Rule residing within these walls, soldier. I don't even know who that is. Why we keep getting this junk paid?
Clump, my dearly dauntless Clump. Remind me, if I ever were to kill myself, I could scale to the heights of your blind devotion and leap down towards your IQ!
You know, it's a very handsome name. Well, I'll be, welcome home, sir.
On a slightly less sensitive note, is there anyone in particular you'd really like to see join the roster for the upcoming event?
Nope. No one comes to mind. I mean, who else is there?
So this was in production for like over 2 years. A lot of people worked out and helping on it. Look at this. It was a union gig. There was so much shit that these guys had to go through to put this together. Man. Bootleg Dub Productions. So, God, I hope I get to do more stuff with these guys, because, oh my God, that went hard. Let me bring my camera back. So, yeah, crazy. Like 20K views today, too. My God. They got the original voice actors from the Donkey Kong Country Show to reprise their roles for this Disney musical, like, kind of short. This is crazy. This is the craziest thing. I've been part of some crazy things in my internet career. This is by far the craziest. And I'm linked here. Look, it goes to my site. Crazy. Awesome. Wow. All right, next break. You get to hear the new song. All right. All right. So cool. That was incredible. The animation is so good. I'm shocked. I am shocked at how the final product turned out. That was insane. I got to harmonize with the original voice of King K. Rool. I have speaking lines. Crazy. What the hell? Absurd. The last time I worked with these guys, it's Stu. I don't know if any of you have seen, if I go back to here, Stu, who was the one who asked me about this, way back 13 years ago now, no, 11 years ago now, I asked him to do a little bit of a fake radio announcer voice that's on an intermission track on like my first ever like demo album. So I go way back with these guys. Last thing I worked on them with was a comic dub of Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, like the first couple issues of it, I think. It's weird because I will get recognized at conventions for having done the tailgate voice in their old comic dubs. That has happened to me before. So, hopefully now I also have this little blue clamp on under my roster as like a weird internet lore. And still not known for playing humans. I've had one human role. Great. Everything's coming up, Case Jackal. I was in like a premiere call for it. They did some promos. They got Johnny Matragano to do fake, was it Todd? Tom from Toonami? Yeah, Tom, right? It's been so long. But, yeah, there were some like fake Toonami spots that they did to promo that. That was fun. But yeah. All right. Let's get back to the music analysis. That was fun. That was a fun little excursion. Let me make sure that I have the raw version of this up so I can just hit play on it. I do have it. All right. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling right now. All right, we got a few more to go through. Let's see, we've done a Zelda one, we've done an Okami one. Let's do another Nintendo one. Let's do another Nintendo one next. That's what I'm feeling. That's where I'm at right now. So Mopsy Bopsy in the chat suggested Northeast Frost Street from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This is a more recent Kirby game, and I have not played it. So I'm going to be hearing this for the first time. Let's go through once for vibes, and then again for analysis. Let's do it. Okay, already got like a chill lo-fi backbeat loop going on here. Flutes. Ooh. Ooh. Some smooth guitar. Very vibey, very uplifting. I love that guitar tone. And just the melody. Oh, it's gotten more gainy. A lot of those high glockenspiels, that's usually, like I said before, that's kind of how you evoke ice. Oh, there's brass. Okay, we moved up. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this definitely has like a Winter Wonderland kind of vibe to it. Very anime. Sus 4? Yep. Sus 4 to 3. Yeah. Another Sus 4. Sus motion. Alright. Oh, those like, that weird like tubular bell sound in the background. I didn't notice that before. The vibe of this, it reminds me of Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. The chords and the general like chillness of it. Everything feels so like bright and open, right? And I think that's, you know, par for the course with Kirby music. It's all really like lighthearted and adventurous until you get to the bosses and you're fighting like hell demons or whatever. But it's a very good vibe. Yeah. like... It's almost got this like oldies sort of vibe to it, but I think like a lot of anime-ish music will pull from those same like chord progressions and textures and stuff. It's definitely doing the kind of like anime pop jazz sort of thing, especially with the guitars. High watt at a lower gain, it's possible. Good judicious but effective use of suspended motion. And again, yeah. All right, and then we fade. This is a really good vibe. The icy boss theme from this game is freeform jazz, and it was a tough call between that and this. I mean, I like this. I feel like freeform jazz would be a bit too hard for me to follow in the time that I have for these streams. So good choice. Also, welcome friendly neighborhood ducks. So this, yeah, this is a good vibe. That's why I went with this one. Thank you for not torturing me. I appreciate that. It's great. So right away I'm hearing like a 1-2 F into G. Depending on what key we're in, this could be a 6-7 or a 4-5, right? Let's hear more context. There's some kind of arpeggio like that going up top too. Pedaling on F mostly. Ah. And then we go down to 3. This A minor here. So we go to 6. Oh, we go to 7 and then 3. Yeah. I'm hearing that. It's a little bit of a change up at the end here. It goes 1 and then 2, and then 1 and then 2 again, and then... Oh no, it goes 1, 2, 1, 6, and then... And the end of that progression is on the 6 of the, or actually the 3. Which would then lead me to believe that we're actually in A minor, and that this thing we were doing before is a 6-7, right? So then that would make this 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 7, no, 4, 5, and then 1. Yeah, that would make more sense. Sometimes what you end on is more indicative of the key you're in than what you start on. But either way, we modulate up a half step to B flat right away. Then down to A. we move up a whole step. So that's definitely a modulation, right? Because, wait, C. Yeah, there we go. So that's definitely a modulation, because if we're starting on... If we're doing this thing where we go down to like a half step below, and then we move up a whole step, that means that we probably did modulate to get here, right? But we're also modulating again up a whole step. We are now in a different key because we are too many half steps different than what we were on before. And then we go down to A again. We just pedal on that A. And then I think everything modulates up here. What happens? Yeah, so now we're on A flat. So the sequences we've gone on to here have this, we move up to B from what was, or we move up to B flat from what was A, and we rock between that and A. Then we move up to this actual B, this B natural, hang on. Okay. So we move up to this B natural, and then it sounds like we modulate down, now a half step below where we were initially in the key. But this might not be the one. This might not be the one of the section yet. We'll have to figure that out. Ah, okay. Okay, so we get a new chord progression and we get some new stuff happening. So this just basically starts descending. We start on this A flat. We go down to G minor, and then down to F minor, and then land on E flat. What's a reference that I can think of? Because I've definitely heard this before. Blinded by the Light? It's that song. But that's a cool little chord progression we've switched into. The descending line. Ah, and then it starts, the chords start moving faster. Bring me back. I think it's that. No. Yeah, okay, so we start going. I like that. So I think we're actually in C minor. I think this is all. This whole thing is walking around C minor, which would make this 6, 5, 1, and then 4, and then 6, 7, 1. I think that's what we're going with here. Ah, and we do it. That's where that sus motion comes in, right? So we do it there. Ah, and then we go. Yeah. Little change up to the chord motion there. Yeah, and then we just 6, 5, 1, down back to C minor. Then we do that sus motion again. Another good use of sus motion. It seems to come with the icy territory, I notice. Then we start rising. And then again on this F sharp. It does another one of those sus motions. Suspended. sus4 into hitting the major third. That's cool. And we've also modulated while doing that, right? Okay, how did that go again? Okay, so we start on this A flat, which is also a G sharp, keep that in mind. Wow. And then we do this half step up here. And then another half step. And then we land on an F sharp, right? And what's cool about that, in my opinion, is that when we land on that F sharp, it sounds like where we're supposed to land. However, where we started would make it a seventh of the root that we started with. But the way that we change through those chords, I like that. So, yeah. So that's a cool little motion there. Two really good uses of that sus motion in different keys, and they use it well. It's like the feel of that like suspended motion stuff. It feels like a door opening or something. It feels like light coming through a window. Like you're pulling curtains back or something and everything like clears up. That's the sort of vibe I get from when I hear that in like a good context like this, right? And I think we go back down to F, yeah. All right, so I want to hear, what is the melody doing? Because I've only really focused on the chords, right? So we're definitely... We're sort of, you know, what's actually interesting about this is it's avoiding F. It's playing a lot of other intervals around it. It plays the 7. And we land on a second of what the chord moves to, which is cool. That's interesting to me. And we do something like that, right? This chord, this note sticking problem is getting even worse. And it mostly does... Yeah. Yeah. And we do a similar thing. When we modulate up, okay, so this is the part where it changes. And then we have that guitar coming in, and it essentially does the same melody. And I think the whole thing modulates up a step when it moves. Yeah, and then... And then I think we move down to A flat. The melodies all seem like variations on the same sort of like flow, right? Hang on. Really? There we go, okay. And this is also starting on a 7. Yeah. Yeah, so we have like mostly variations in the melodies going on that sort of follow where the key center is every time it changes. And they are doing a little extra flair, a little bit of different stuff each time. I like that. I like that little, that jump there. Just the little extra notes it adds to that melody. I really like this guitar line. And this comes with the descent, right? Yeah. But it does something, the chords are different there. Yeah. Yeah, and then... Yeah. Yeah, and we get that little... I just love that guitar line, it's, especially when it's doing the descent, right? Like, just the chord motion under that also makes it more satisfying. I like that. And it lands on that C. And another, another sus4 in there. And that's pretty much the whole thing. It essentially loops from there. Now, this is a cool track. It's very chill. It has a lot of really cool chord motion and like modulation and stuff. Whereas the first one we listened to, the Zelda one, had very, it used its modulation sort of just as a stepwise, like instead of changing chords. This one does a lot more, work with the modulations. It uses its chord borrowings and its modulating to push the place in different places. And the upper melodies all seem to follow, right? And it's just very concise. It's a very concise vibe. And it's pretty jazzy. The way that it moves around is kind of jazzy. Also very anime. It is sort of like the anime flavor of jazzy. It sounds very, very J-pop. I do like this, though. It's a chill vibe. I think, as far as the rating goes, this is also a 4. I enjoy it. I don't have a whole lot of complaints about this. It catches me off guard in some very, very pleasing ways. And it does some cool... It's got 2 different sus4s, right? It utilizes that sus4 twice to very, very good effect. And it also does a cool few things where it will end on the 7 of what it started with by some like strategic modulation, but it still feels satisfying when you get there. That's hard to pull off. I dig this one. I like it. This is Northeast Frost Street from Kirby and the Northeast Frost Street from Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. And that was suggested by Mopsy Bopsy in the chat. Thank you for that. It's another 4. It's another 4 out of 5 from me. All right, what else we got? Let's do Crash Twin Sanity. Let's do that one. Thank you for another great analysis. Thank you for the suggestion. There have been some cool, you know, I gotta say, punny as it sounds, some chill songs today. I dig it. All right. What else do we got? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I already got this pulled up. So Jasaris in the chat suggested Crash Twin Sanity Iceberg Lab. Now, this is going to sound like some Crash Bandicoot music. I already know it. All right? It's 2 minutes long. It's not super long. Hopefully, it's also not super complex. I could just blaze through it, you know, melt all the ice and whatnot. But let's check this out. Crash music is usually pretty fun. Once through for vibes, and then again for analysis. Let's go. Oh, bubble and vocal samples, huh? Okay, this is pretty nuts, actually. Got some weird vocal samples. The percussion also sounds like beatboxed. That's a distorted voice. I think the song is all vocal. Not what I was expecting. Yeah, it's just like building vocal layers. We got those mbop, mbop, like kind of things, and then we have like a distorted and auto-tuned like lead melody that's just being like, just being oohed. Some weird sample shifted like laughter or something there. That's so strange. That upper element does give a little bit of like iciness slip. It's like slipping on ice, you know? I don't like that sound. And they're all just scatting, right? There's not words, they're just making noises. You got whistles. Okay, nuts. This is crazy. It's all vocals. It's all different like vocal samples. And I can hear like a bass voice, I can hear those bop, bop, like that kind of stuff. There's some extra like scatting layers, there's some extra like melodic layers. So this is arranged, you know, the way, it's not arranged like a vocal piece, but it is performed as a layered vocal piece. So let's dig into this. What key are we in? So we're hitting an A major, it sounds like. And then A minor. That's what it sounds like. And then we have like a something like that. Can I go lower? So that's an interesting, that's a cool little thing right off the bat, is rocking between a major and a minor of one interval. C. Yeah. So that's funky. And then we have this melody that comes in. And it starts on that major third, which means it definitely has to move off of it before we change chords. Okay, let me turn this down a little bit so it doesn't fight with my piano so much. Yeah. Okay, so the chords do change when the melody changes. To D, and then D minor, I believe. I think it does the same thing, a fourth up. Yeah, so this. And this one actually just changes, it hits that minor third when the chord does. And then it moves back down to A, I believe. Yeah. And those shalalas are also following that, right? And I think it just ends by drawing out the A major, E3, no, 7, wait, fucking what? D, okay. And I think it just ends by drawing out that A major instead of going to minor the second time around, just so it resolves to itself, right? I don't like that sound. It sounds like a weird mouth sound, like somebody like sucking spit through their teeth. I don't like that. Then we just got some free-form scatting over the rest of this, right? Just a little skippy hoppy like scatting thing at the end there. Then we get all like the bubbles and stuff, fades out. Yeah, this is short but sweet and simple. This is really unique. I don't think we've heard anything yet that is just 100% vocals. Usually, I'm like, yeah, don't send me things with vocals. This is an exception, though. This is where it's just got some sounds they're making. This is the kind of vocals I like to hear. Way better than Guilty Gear lyrics. Anyway, if I were to rate this, I think this is another 4. It does a couple cool, interesting things, right? It has that little, Intro to Land of Confusion by Genesis kind of sound. And it does like a bluesy thing. It just goes up to 4. And it's mostly just doing that sort of simple. you know, little bit of a, it's just a simple, the chords are super simple. The melody is super simple too. It just sort of wanders around the notes that it can go to and emphasizes the chord changes when it does move up, like that. You know, it gets that little flavor in there. Yeah, I like this. This is a 4 out of 5 from me. Wax and gibbous. Though I am not docking too many points for that weird sucking sound that happens, but I would rather that's not there. That's my one complaint about this. Other than that, good all around. Thanks for that, Jasaris. Thanks for that suggestion. That's the Iceberg Lab from Crash Twin Sanity. Thank you for that suggestion. That went by fast. That one was easy. That one was so simple. No modulations or anything crazy like that. A little bit of a, I guess, modal modulation, you could consider it that. All right, I got another 2. Can I do both of them? I'm not super time limited. I do have some goat biryani coming, and I wanna try that, I gotta say. I'm looking forward to that. But I need to get a lot of work done on some stuff tonight. Speaking of which, video uploads will begin again soon. I've just, they're not gonna be daily anymore. I may, I was just trying through March, mostly. I was trying to keep to a daily thing. Once April hit, I picked up other projects immediately, and I was like, yeah, I'll do this one, I'll do it. But I'm going to start posting regularly again. It's going to be every other day, and then break on, it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Right? No, yeah. Monday? No. Oh my God. I'll be posting every other day. Probably in sprints, so that they'll sync up. So one week it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday. And then the next week it'll be Tuesday, Thursday. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's do the Digimon World one. So Cosmo Comics suggested Ice Sanctuary from the Digimon World OST. I have heard so much about Digimon World. I hear it's stupid hard, and like crazy engaging, but I've never played it. So I've never heard this before. We're gonna see what this is about. I'm gonna listen through once for vibes and then again for analysis. Let's go. Okay. So very icy kind of vocal samples, you know, like icy winds against icicles kind of sound going on here. Very classical. I think it's walking down fifths. Yeah. We have an organ. That's another... Oh, the organ's going off. So we have some arpeggiating on the organ with, I think, that vocal choir thing, that synth choir doubling it. Now they're doing like some counter melodies to each other. And we ascend. Oh. They really wanted that to go up another step, but they didn't do that. Yeah, that organ's just having a time. This is an organ piece with some accompaniment. And the organ's like everything. The organ's doing the bass, the organ's doing like an upper melody. Yeah. Duh. I think we're moving down fifths. That's definitely what that sounds like. Yeah, this is very icy and also very like somber. The organ makes it sound kind of evil, a little bit spooky, but more so just like it also does a lot to evoke that iciness, you know? Everything in this is evoking that wind chill sensation. And then hold it and then down. Yeah, that's a good fake out, I gotta admit. Yeah. This little classical piece. It's gonna fade. Yeah. All right, this is interesting. Very classical sounding. Very sticking to fundamentals, you know? Let's hear what these chords are. So right away, I can hear the melody starts on a fifth, and we have a like bass root on E flat. So we have something like that. Oh, interesting. We land on a major third of that E flat we started with. We jump up to 5, go to 4, and then 3. Then we walk up to 4. Ah, okay, so we walk up to 4, we hit this, there's no F, okay. We hit this A flat here, right? And then we jump down to its 5th, which is D flat. And I'm gonna guess we start going down the circle of 5ths from here. Yep. Okay. And we get to this part where it lands on the 5 of where we started. And the organ starts doing this like sort of arpeggio thing. I don't know what you call that when you hover between 2. But it just draws out that you want to go back to 1 from 5, right? But having all of that over top like sort of cements like, nah, we're staying here for a little bit. Yeah, and then the root starts to move. Ah, and then we do this thing where it sounds like we landed on F there. Okay, no, actually we go half step lower. Okay, so we start and then we go down to the 4, to the 3, and then up to, I believe this, would this be a 6? Because where are we? We're in, yeah, I think that's a 6. And then from this 6, I predict we jump down a 5th to F, and then we start doing circle of 5ths again, right? Yep. Ah, except at the end. So we do this. And then go up a fourth, which we would have gone down there, right? Or wait, do we actually hit that 4? Take me back. And now instead of going down even lower, what we instead start doing is walking up. So we walk from the 4 up to the 5. Minor 6. Then we do this 5th into the major 3rd. Do a 1-4. This is a very, very classical kind of chord progression. It's doing a lot of circle of 5ths motion, and it's doing a lot of like resolutions to the 1 like earlier before the cycle restarts and stuff like that. It's very much rooting itself in like classical like music tradition, and it sounds like it. It sounds like it could be, you know, like a movement in Bach or Beethoven or something. Debussy maybe. And the bass is walking a lot. That's another thing. It's not just jumping around. It always tries to move to like an adjacent thing, unless it's doing the circle of 5th jumps. And now the organ's walking around more, but I'm just gonna focus on the roots. Yeah, and then we... And we go to that minor 3rd there. I'm not playing the bass anymore. And then tritone. And then back to 1. 1-5, and then 1. And then we loop. So, yeah. It's doing something like that, right? Yeah. And what's cool about this, I'm using the word cool a lot. What's cool about this is this also plays with changing between using the major third and using the minor third, right? And everything above this is just sort of arpeggiating up and down chords with some extra flavor notes in between, being careful to watch like the bass movement and whatnot. And it all comes together as a very, like I said, it's a very classical sounding piece. Yeah, we do that thing. Where we arpeggiate over that 5 for a while. Yeah? Yeah, a lot of very, very roundabout, very classical, you know, going to 5 then 1 and like doing all that. I do like the vibe of this. I would analyze the melody more, but it all sounds like it's really just arpeggiating stuff. And I'm gonna get lost. Yeah. You know. It has like a little trill there. It has like a little bit of that. It's so very like Baroque, you know? Oh. Yeah. This is cool. This is very, very... It's not chill in terms of, like, the vibe. It is very chill in terms of the sound palette. It is mostly an organ and some synth choir. Organ doing longer, drawn-out stuff, and the synth choir a bit more staccato than what the organ is doing. All in all, this is a pretty cool little classical piece here. It follows a lot of the like kind of classical conventions, and it's definitely going for that sort of sound. Very elegant and very somber, very not foreboding, vacant, I would say. Very archaic. That's the anachronistic. That's sort of like the vibe I get from this, right? I wasn't expecting this to be in Digimon world, but interesting idea, interesting change of pace. I think this is a 3. I would give this one a 3. I'm not a huge fan of the whole classical thing. I like that it's doing the circle of fits. I feel like it could have done more with the musical elements. I don't really know the full context besides this is an ice level. It may be like a really chill and desolate place, and it may suit it better that there's only like 2 instruments. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's all right. I like it. This is a 3 out of 5 from me. It's a half moon. And thank you, Cosmo Comic, for suggesting this one. I mostly just focused on the bass motion, but you know, you can figure your bass from that. I think figured bass is backwards, actually. I think figured bass is when you have a chord and then you have to follow the bass. I don't actually know what figured bass means. We got one more. And like 10 minutes. So I'm probably going to roll over a little bit. I'm actually going to take another short break, and I'm going to show you something that I put out recently. Who's still here? Who's waiting through for the breaks? So the first thing that I did was relevant to video games. This one is also sort of relevant to video games. In that it was sort of like a... Hang on, let me cam full. Yeah, there we go. Where's chat? Yeah. So this was sort of like... I would say, I posted this everywhere saying that it is a love letter to Sonic Adventure music. And when I wrote the riff, and when I started, you know, working on it in general, I spent like 3 years on this riff, and I've been plucking away at this for some time now. And it's out. It's already out. Some of you, probably a lot of you, have heard it on Bandcamp or on SoundCloud already. But I'm just going to leave it on for the break. This is Stellar Side. First single off of my next album, a metal album called Stellar Side. Enjoy. It's just me aping Crush 40.
Across a distance, we forge a bond. Starlight with persistence can be any form at once. Turn your clouds to dust, let them dance. Reverberate around your resonant orbital bands. I'm a force, unlike any sword coming through. On a course to collide with you. If our planets align, if we die ourselves.
there's that. That's out now. You can get that on Bandcamp. case.dog/music, or just type exclamation point music in the chat. I'll have a new track coming out every Bandcamp Friday. And so this is going to be, the rest of the year, going to be launching metal tracks. And feel like it's appropriate. I feel like the Donkey Kong thing is going to blow this out of the water, views-wise, but my most listened to recent track is my cover of Master of Puppets. So that has 95,000 plays in the 3 months since I put it up. And that's cool as hell. I'm so glad people appreciate that. I put so much work into that. I was like, felt like I was dying when I was recording it. So, you know. Yeah. We got one more. I zoned out working on stuff, but food is almost here. Oh, cool. I'm going to start my last thing, and I may have to run out in the middle of it to grab food. But let's do this last one. This is our last ice level for ice level day. I'll probably be doing repeat themes later once I get through enough of them until I can think of new themes. But yeah. Here's our last ice level theme, and after this we can come up with the theme for next stream tomorrow. Probably going to be streaming a little bit later tomorrow, starting later. Just because we want to get, we got some errands to do. They're going to cut it close, so just want to be safe. Don't want to lie to everybody. But yeah, let's get into this. This was suggested by Mars in the chat. It is Snowy World from the Drawn to Life soundtrack. I've heard a bit about this game. I don't know a whole lot about it, though. So let's listen through to this. I'll be hearing this for the first time. We'll listen through once for vibes and then again for analysis. Let's go. All right, this is bouncy. We got those upper bells. Sounds kind of wintry. We got some jingle bell percussion in the background, right? Oh. It's a very pop melody. This grooves. So we have some pizzicato strings and some upper bells and extra strings, some jingle bell percussion. So we're getting a lot of like the chill from that, you know? Very icicle-y. We got a few kind of bell like melodies going on. That's cool. Little rhythmic stabs there. Yeah. Yeah. This is just fun. Oh, I like the little tiny like breakdown drop it had there. Yeah. So we've looped through. I do like this little flute melody. It's very poppy. And the chords do some cool little changes under them, it sounds like. But mostly keeping within key, it sounds like. It doesn't sound like we've borrowed anything yet, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then the bass does something a little more complex the second time it goes through. This is so fun. It's so bouncy. A little swingy too. This is just fun, like snowball fight music, you know? Yeah, and then that comes back. So we've looped. It's gonna fade. Yeah. This is very fun, very jaunty. It's I like this. This is a chill time. This is like a, it's almost like a slice of lifey kind of. It's very. I keep using the word chill. I gotta stop saying chill. But I like this. What is this game, chat? What is Drawn to Life? What kind of game is it? What is the gameplay like? What is the context for this besides ice level? I'm curious. What was it for? When did this come out? You say, Pumpkin Mars says, Drawn to Life has some really good music for its time. Yeah, when did this come out? It's a DS game. Okay. Design a hero on the DS and go through levels. Oh, interesting. Oh, like you draw your... Okay. I get it. Okay, what key are we in? E, it sounds like. No, F. Sorry, my chord readout was messed up. So we have a walk-up intervals to F. Yeah, we're doing a pretty poppy chord progression. So, yeah. After this first part, so it sounds like in the first part we're just sort of doing like a 1-5, 1-4. Yeah, 1 to 4. That's a very stereotypical like pop chord progression. Food is here. I could also grab it. I mean, I gotta go upstairs anyway. I guess you might as well grab it. Because I don't want to stay down here for too long. I gotta go upstairs and work on my things up there. So, yeah, we're in a pretty, like... And then for the, like, B section as it comes in. Yeah, for the B section we go down to 4. And it sounds like we stay on 4 for a bit. And then we go down to 1. And then we go up to 3. A minor 3. I'm sorry, that is major. And 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5 I just think in the key it would be a minor chord, so that's why I thought of that. But yeah, so we. And then at the end, it jumps up to the 5. We get that kind of thing going on. No, wait, it does this twice. And then goes down to 1. And then 3. Does that again, and then up to 5. We get this little arpeggio, don't we? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it does. I see. Yeah, it's just arpeggiating the chords that are there, right? Yeah. So we get this B flat arpeggio. It moves enough notes down to become an F arpeggio, and then moves these 2 notes down to become a C arpeggio. So that's easy. That's very simple. This is very, very simple. And simple in music usually means happy, right? And we get this little bell thing doing that too. And then it walks down to an F. G. Okay. All right, now this section, we're back in F. It's doing something like that, just basically following the chords more. basically doing that. Yeah, very, very, very happy, right? And I think most of this, I think it just loops from here. So, yeah, that's another little... So we hit like an interval of the chord that it goes to, and then we repeat the same pattern, and then move up one note at like the very end. That's a very pop thing to do, where you do that. And then you just change, like, yeah. This other melody that comes in here is also very poppy. You could totally take lines from this and have them as like background elements in a pop song. It's very happy, right? It's very jaunty. It's very fun. The rhythm is also very fun. Everything's very swung. I'm not playing it as swung as it is in this, but this has some cool parts. I like this. This is a good way to end our ice day. So that is Snowy World from the Drawn to Life soundtrack. I really like this. It's very simple, and it does a good job of spelling out the like more happy like winter wonderland. This is sort of stereotypically more of what I was expecting from snowy music and doing a snowy music theme. I'm surprised by the breadth of the different interpretations of snow and ice that we have heard today. But this one is definitely very much like have fun in the snow, snowball fight kind of thing, you know? And I love that. And I think it's good to end on this. The font here reminds me of the Klonoa logo. I don't, especially that little spiral there. But But yeah, fun little jaunty little tune. I'm also gonna give this one a 3. It's poppy. I like poppy. It's very simple. It does what it sets out to do. It sounds like a snowy world. But you know, a little too much ear candy, you know, if that's possible, compared to the other stuff. I'm biased because we heard a lot of crazy stuff today. But that's a half moon, 3 out of 5. We've had some, everything here was upper tier. Most days everything is upper tier. Most days everything is 3 and up. I've only had a couple 2s, a couple 1s. Yeah, all 3s and up today. Snowy World from the Drawn to Life soundtrack, suggested by Mars in the chat. Thank you so much for that suggestion. And that's it for today. I may have to push back tomorrow's stream like an hour or 2. Oh, we got to come up with what's our next theme? What's our next theme, chat? Suggest some themes. Ice level was good. We've done desert level. We've done water level. We've done first levels. We've done menu music. Fire level. Ah, interesting. Jungle, vehicles, instrumental character themes. I think once I get through this week, maybe next week we'll do the instrumental themes. Map theme. Map theme is a good idea. That overworld, yeah, that could be a good one. We could continue with the elemental. I do like doing fire. I think doing fire would be a good next one. Let's go with fire. Let's do fire for Tuesday. And for Wednesday, storm theme. That's pretty specific. I wouldn't expect everything to have that. And I feel like a lot of places that have storms, it's usually also watery. So, but let's see. Yeah, fire theme, vehicle theme. That's an interesting one, and I don't know how much stuff would fit, but I could be surprised. What about Wednesday? We should think ahead. So if we're doing fire tomorrow, what should we do Wednesday? I think overworld is a good one. Have we not? What elements haven't we done? We haven't done wind or air. I guess that could fit into storms. We have heard some wind themes, you know. Like flying theme. Let's do that. Wednesday is going to be our catch-all, winds and air. All right. So let's start a thread. Let's get this going, and then I'm going to sign the fuck out. New thread. 259. 59 is a, what is that? That's a 7th. 59 theme. Fire levels. Let's say fire and lava. Somebody better submit the... Have we done the Sun Kingdom from Klonoa yet? I can't remember. I love the Sun Kingdom theme. I honestly cannot remember if we've done it. Because I know it. Let's see. Let's get heated again. All right, threads up. And then I'm also going to put one up for Wednesday. Wed. 510. See, 510. Now that's an octave. There's one. Anyway. We haven't? You did Palladium's Drive. Okay, yeah. That was a very windy theme. Wednesday. Air. Wind. Let's see. Flying. Air. Wind. Theme. Clear for takeoff. There we go. Okay, let me just edit. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. This is proper. Hide after inactivity 3 days. That sounds good. That sounds like a plan. All right. So we got Tuesday and Wednesday's themes up. Again, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming a little later. I'm going to shoot to start by 3. It might be a shorter stream, or I might just run until 6. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. Thanks for checking out the new stuff I had over the breaks. And thanks for offering your suggestions, commentary. Let's see who we can raid. Let me look. Live notifs. Who's live? Squid Punk. Is Squid still live?
Get that?
Yeah, Squid's still live. Playing Nier Automata. We're gonna raid Squid Punk. That's what we're doing. Okay, we better double their viewership, okay? I want y'all to hop in. They got 8 viewers. Let's beat it. Let's go. 4 viewers, 5 viewers, 4, no, come on, 5, come on, 6. Come on, give me that. 3 seconds. 2 more people, 7. 1 more. Hop in, 1 more. Come on. Everybody leave. 7 viewers. 1 more. 1 more, come on. Who's slacking? Who's lurking? Hop in the raid. Ah, whatever. 7's good enough. Have a good evening. I will see you tomorrow. Good luck. Keep climbing, etc., etc., etc. Let's go.